Right, ready to roll. Welcome in, Gyms and Gymettes, to another exciting edition of No Substitute for Sports. And no, I currently do not have my password. Figured the US of A was A-okay for me. No need to leave. But this AEW heading across the pond to the UK news, might have to snag one of those. Is that enough letters for you? We'll see. I'm
Oh,
your host, Nick Johnston. Tons of high spots to hit tonight. Bulls heading into the playoffs. They got some work to do, but we'll be talking the Bulls' path for the most success in these NBA playoffs. We got some White Sox injuries, unfortunately, piling up already for the club. So we'll go ahead and talk about that in a White Sox check-in. Tons of other things. A little bit of controversy surrounding him and O'Neal Cruz, Tim Anderson going on the IL, yada yada yada. We'll get to all that. Let's see, a couple of stories to get to in the NFL, a couple of signings. We'll get to that as well. Finally, like I just said, teased in the beginning, we'll be comparing huge announcements delivered by both WWE's Triple H and AEW's Tony Khan. Spoiler alert, AEW's announcement was much cooler. There's all that and tons more. But before we do that, let me introduce you to my co-host, the founder and CEO of Fat Cat _ Streams. And that's with a Z. It's Mikey J. Fat Cat. How you doing tonight?
I'm great, man. I'm doing great. How about all of you? It's always a pleasure being here, and it's beautiful outside.
Oh yeah, we had our first nice little spring day, first almost a little hint of summer over here in the Chicagoland area, so that was nice. Enjoyed. I was over at the Illinois School for Broadcasting. Enjoyed a nice little class day, so that was nice to get some sun in. We were chilling on that. Went to work. It was a nice holly jolly day. I know I only got you for limited time. We got you. You're going to head out and you're going to go see the Super Mario Brothers movie again. We're going to be
Yeah.
talking about that basically right now. I mean, that was besides a post happy Easter Passover. I mean, for anyone that
Happy,
celebrated
happy,
that, just I probably should have did that the past week, but I forget what days
happy
are.
hopping day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
happy hopping a long day. So that was pretty cool. I had a fun time over at the fam, over at the aunts and uncles. We got to got to catch up and all that.
Hmm.
What's your favorite? What do you guys do with your family Easter? What's that? What's that look like at the Fatigatos?
We always get together and we always have to paint or get the Easter eggs in some way. My mom had
Okay.
this new machine this year where you like put the egg in the machine and it just spins the egg for you, and you just use these markers to
Now I think
draw
I've
them. That's
seen
it.
that. I've seen it on my Instagram reels or my YouTube shorts or whatever the hell is. It looks pretty cool.
It was cool. We
Looks
were
like
able
it
to
gets the
make some
job
cool
done.
eggs. Oh yeah, I thought it broke, but the egg was just fucked up.
Oh,
But
that's okay.
yeah,
No,
we just always gotta do the eggs, and my mom always makes the lamb cake. So that's
ooh, that's what you okay. That's what I was wondering what that was. I thought that was a big thing of butter. That's what we usually get. We get a lamb butter, but you get a lamb cake. That's always the good go-to. What's the bit? What's the main course? Because we usually had. Well, for this one we had lamb. We had a big, nice lamb. We're a Greek family, so we dig into the lamb. We got the lamb or the Greek spaghetti as well. Uh, are you a ham family? Or are you guys into something else?
We
What's the?
did have ham, and it's
Okay, all
usually
right,
lamb, but
okay.
we switched it up, and it was just like breakfast stuff
Okay,
this
because
year. So.
I heard someone say they're like, "Oh, ham's overrated." I think that just means you haven't had a good, nice honey ham or something like that. That just
Hmm.
means your fam can't put one together. So I don't know. Seems pretty easy to me. I don't know
Yeah.
what I want to say. So again, hopefully everyone enjoyed the holidays, checking in on the fam. Go ahead and do that from time to time. Love doing that. We got to also, like I said, you're gonna go ahead and split off and see it again because you missed like the first 5 minutes.
I
That's
did
okay.
miss the beginning.
But yeah, we're gonna be talking maybe like a spoiler free about the Super Mario Brothers movie. I loved it. I mean, I'll just say simply put, I'll try and stay as spoiler free as I can with. Oh, excuse me, I have my phone ringing. Gonna try and stay as spoiler free as I can with it. I mean, just pure nostalgia, pure fun. You got the Easter eggs if you paid attention enough. You got the little kid enough, like it's good enough traction for the little kids. The dialogue isn't crazy, but it's also enjoyable for the adults. Enough for the adult jokes as well. I love that one star, the morbid star, I suppose was the character's name. I don't know. You'll definitely see them towards the end. All around, all types of fun. Anything on your end? Anything.
Oh, I mean, I thought it was awesome. I mean, Yeah, and our buddy Troy, he's been wanting to see it, so we planned this little thing. We're gonna go see it with him again tonight. So I'm excited. I missed the beginning, and I heard that there were a bunch of Easter eggs at the beginning. So I was like, I missed a bunch of shit apparently. So I'm actually
Yeah.
excited to
I
to
mean,
see at
nothing
least
that,
just some of that.
yeah, sorry, nothing that like I guess affects the storyline, but yeah,
Yeah,
definitely just in terms of like, yeah, just small stuff.
I
Uh,
just saw some video of someone I watched, and they were like the original Mario was in the beginning, and like
yeah,
there's all this stuff. I was like, what? I
yep.
missed all that.
The
I was
original
like, come
voice of
on.
Mario is basically right in the beginning. Some other time I don't remember what timestamp exactly, but you can also see in the background if you maybe I think you also were in the theater already at the time. It had like the original video game, what was Mario Jumpman, just something like
Mm-hmm.
that. So I thought that was pretty cool. Just little stuff like that, and just all around tons of fun. I guess my real critique is only to the hardos that want to critique this movie. It's a kids movie, dude. Relax. Like I said, just take it in for what it is. It's not if you want to like bash on it or hate on it, it definitely wasn't made for you. So stick to something else. They
Yeah,
literally hit every video game besides like the Mario Brothers baseball soccer games. Like the only thing they didn't hit was the sports games, and you don't need that. I'm sure they'll do something like that in the second movie where they'll be opening to Mario and Luigi opening up in the playing baseball or something
that
like
would be
that.
awesome.
So yeah, I guess that's the only. I'm sorry, spoiler on that. There probably will be a sequel, just considering how successful it is. So I mean, it's
Yeah, I mean,
broke
it's
like
I
almost
think
every
it's the
record.
biggest animated film ever
It just
already.
passed like Frozen 2 and Frozen the other one and The Lion King from what I was being told by my girlfriend the other day. So hey, they hit it. They hit a good one. I mean, again, for all the haters, and you sent me a screenshot of someone at your work that was like just like hating on it, or just I mean, no, it wasn't that. It was like a Reddit thread you sent me. I was just like, what like again, why such a hardcore yeah, I don't know. It's if you're really that gonna be that hung up on it, just don't go see it. Just play it in your room alone or something like that, or play Luigi's Haunted Mansion. The only critique I will say is he said like 3 or 4 different times they called Luigi Lou. I didn't like that. Did not like that. I don't know a time where they called Luigi Lou or Mario's like Lou, get over here. No, 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 no. I audibly said that in the theater. I was like, stop doing that. I was a 5-year-old in that instance. So that's the only thing I will have on that. Other than that, go see Super Mario Brothers movie. That was fantastic. I did like the one tweet that's like, I'm sorry, Chris Pratt, for everything I said. I'm sorry, Chris Pratt. You did an amazing
Yeah,
job.
if any, we should be hating on Seth Rogen, honestly, because he's just I hate
He
I
didn't.
hate
Oh, I mean, to be
people
fair,
gave
like
shit for Chris Pratt saying he didn't change his voice at all, but Seth Rogen is literally just Seth Rogen in the movie.
that's fair. That's
And
fair.
everybody at least has some critique in their voice.
Yeah,
I
he
don't
could have. He
know.
could have. I don't know how you sound like a monkey necessarily. I guess you could have just maybe watched a Planet of the Apes movie or two and just picked up something like that. You could have. You could have just did something.
When
You
he
could have
did the
changed
Seth
anything at
Rogen
all.
laugh,
He
like
did. That was.
I would literally was like, what? Like I was like, come
I
on.
like that just because I thought that was an ode to the older audience that would probably be going. So I could call, but you can call balls and strikes on that. That's fine too. I'm sure that's
I mean, yeah, it was great. It's definitely worth watching. It's just fun. You turn your brain off for an hour and a half, and you don't have to worry about some and like the story or something. It's just fun,
yes,
and it's like
exactly.
animation's great, and it was just awesome. All the stuff they did with implementing how they like just like how they fight in games and how levels work, and them climbing on shit, and like just like there's just so much cool stuff
Yeah.
that
My
was
favorite
just
is when they
awesome.
do when they do get to their time. I guess again, cover your ears for 4 or 5 seconds on this one. When you choose your card in Mario Kart, I love that's the way that they were doing that in the movie. So that was probably really cool. Just the
Oh,
way
I
they were
loved
constructed.
that.
Yeah, I mean, just they did a phenomenal job of integrating just about every single little piece of a game into this game, and I don't know. I thought again thought it was great. It's doing so well that it's the 1993 release is climbing up the Amazon charts and DVD sales, even though
Mm.
that was a not so good movie according to everyone else's standards. I haven't personally seen it myself, but I've heard it's not very good at all, just considering it's like live action and you got weird looking characters. And yeah, just we'll have to do maybe a deep dive on that, maybe backtrack and do the 93 version one night or something like that. Either way,
Ooh.
seems pretty cool. Super Mario Brothers movie. It gets two wahas from us, I suppose.
Yahoo!
There you go. Ooh. Check it out, along with some Snoop cereal. Maybe you can snap into some Snoop cereal. Maybe I can share. I'll hold up on this one. Just maybe bear with me on this one. Bear with me. I'll just go ahead and let me do this. Let me just do this one. I think I can just do that. How's this? Am I coming in with just the Snoop cereal? Is this what I'm looking at? Am I seeing it too or no?
I don't see it.
Okay, maybe I screwed up. We'll just do this instead.
Snoop
Oh,
cereal.
it's telling me that we can't screen share right now. That's okay. Either way, Snoop cereal coming in with 3 different flavors. Got a technical difficulty though. Snoop cereal, we got fruity hoops with marshmallows, frosted drizzlers, and we got cinnamon toasties. Are you going to be checking out any one of these 3 new flavors for Snoop cereal?
I did not see this, but um, I sounds interesting. I just got a picture of them, so let me see here.
Yeah, it looks like this. They have the names of all the mascots. If you go ahead and just Google Snoop cereal, snoopcereal.com will take you to what I'm looking at exactly right now. It looks just like looks like some
It
Fruit
looks
Loops with
just
some
like normal
marshmallows.
cereal.
Yeah, it looks like some just good, nice, sugary cereal. You can meet the Captain Ace. Ace is the captain. He's rocking an old school Kobe Bryant, a number 8 jersey. I like these and these basketball style themed Lakers colors that they got rocking around. Makes some sense. Let's see. Max is number 2, Hercules, Captain Ace, Roxy, and Mr. Polar Bear coming in number 5. So you got your starting 5 for all that. Enjoy some Snoop cereal. Why don't you? While you're there, you go. You got it up for us. Thank you very much. That's exactly what I'm looking at right now. Yeah, I mean, not too shabby. Just
It
goes to
looks
show you
good.
that you can't escape Snoop Dogg. He is everywhere. If he's not selling you car insurance, or if he's not on the wrestling show, or if he's not on the TBS show that follows after, or if he's not rapping in your ear from the music that you bought, or making some food with Martha Stewart, or wherever it may be. I'm sure there's a ton of other things. Hosting, like I just said, hosting WrestleMania. Yeah, he's everywhere. That's basically it. So now he's going to be in your breakfast. Snoop cereal. Enjoy some Snoop cereal. We're just selling everybody else's stuff. We should be selling our own stuff. bit.ly/no sub bets. Go ahead and do that. You'll sign up with Bet Rivers. Make sure you're in Illinois. Make sure you're 21 and over. If you got a gambling problem, 1-800-GAMBLER. But if you want to go ahead and deposit $25 or more, you'll have a risk-free bet up to $500. Go ahead and do that. You got NBA playoffs coming up basically right now. NHL season's basically ending soon as well. And tons and tons of nerfies. Tons and tons of nerfies to get into. We talked about that last week. One omission from my nerfy talk from last week before we get into, I know, like, again, we got you on some other stuff, but nerfy omission, make sure you're not in Colorado's stadium either. The altitude, it'll mess you up. It'll take your money before you know it. Not just nosebleeds, but it's gonna go ahead and take your money.
Wow.
Let's see. That's pretty good. Snoop cereal gone and off the books. I had one about the Museum of Failure, but I went ahead and enough people went ahead and talked about that from just looking at my YouTube algorithm. I didn't see. I was going to only talk about it then I saw Moist Critical had already hit it, and that's kind of my rule. If a really famous YouTuber talks about it, I doesn't really get any traction over here. Either way, we're transitioned to a big failure that happened over the weekend. The Chattanooga Lookouts. These are this is the triple. This is going to be the AAA league. AAA. Yes, I'm gonna lock that in and say it's AAA. Chattanooga Lookouts. They went ahead and they got no hit by one of my favorite teams that I like being on in MLB the Show, the Rocket City Trash Pandas. They were no hit by the Rocket City Trash Pandas, but they won 7-5. How? How is this possible? Well, off a ton of walks and a key error by the center fielder, just straight up dropped the ball with the bases loaded, allowing, I believe, 2 or 3 runs to score on that one alone. I don't know.
What?
Yeah, so
What the hell?
there's been other no hitters that people have lost before where they're on the losing side of their own no hitter. I just have is this the worst type of loss in sports history, losing on a no hitter? And of course, in this fashion, this has to exclamate it. I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah, that sounds fucking horrible. How does that even? I would be so mad if I was a fan of that team.
Yeah, yeah.
How the hell does it? How the hell do you allow something like that to happen?
They completely obliterated that bullpen completely obliterated in the ninth, and actually in the seventh inning. I believe they might have been on a double header that night. That's the only reason it ended in the seventh.
7 runs too.
Yeah, all
How
coming
the
in.
fuck?
Yeah. That's a shame. Definitely a bad one right there. I mean, just absolutely terrible. That's just like I said,
Yeah.
that made its rounds around the Twitters, around everything. I think the John Boy Media went ahead and covered that as well, just to actually get some footage on there. Crazy. And like I said, that has to be the worst type of loss. I mean, buzzer beater right in your face. I'm sure that stings for only so long, but this is truly historical. That is going to be like, if it was only at the major league level, this would only be that much higher. But obviously, being at the AAA level, this is still pretty crazy. So again,
Yeah,
7 to
that's
5,
crazy.
getting no hit, and you end up winning. So pretty solid. Probably going to be their most memorable win for a long time.
I would hope so.
Let's see. I think that about wraps up the appetizers. That was the appetizer section if I didn't already make mention to. So hopefully you don't fill up on bread. You had a nice little smorgasbord of stuff going around. Dealer's choice, like I said, because there you go. Nice little roasted weenies over there. Dealer's choice. I think we went ahead and landed on wrestling just because, like I said, you got to get out of here a little earlier than expected. We're going to try and cram in as much as we can together. And this
I
is what
want
you
to talk about this real fast because
shoot.
I want to.
Yeah, no, that's what we're here for. Yes.
This.
Yes.
Trying to blame us and start a fight over this.
Yeah.
It's not even. They're saying I wish I had footage of it, but
No, I mean we would get flagged, of course, but yeah, there's
it's just kind of a effed up picture of what happened. But basically, this guy was sliding in the home and he just slid right into our catcher, Sebi Zavala, and then they blamed us for it. So
yeah. Basically a rising star in the league, O'Neal Cruz, comes in awkwardly. Not a very good slide. Many would argue, I guess I think Kyle put it the best, like a fat kid in little league coming in for a slide. Some are saying, oh, it's because Sebi was blocking the plate or had to do this. He actually had to jump up in the air for that ball, so there was enough time for O'Neal Cruz to figure out to get his big ass. He's 6'7". That's pretty
and
big.
he should be sliding more to the right, shouldn't he? Like, shouldn't he be going more over there?
Yeah, no, he definitely messed himself up, and I'm just glad that you brought this up. The consensus around the Twitterverse and online, it's O'Neal Cruz's fault. It's his fault for sliding in. Of course, dumbasses in. I mean, I'll just name one. It's just, I guess, Marty Mush on Barstool is the only consistent show that I seem to be watching, is like Pick Central every morning. He wants to blame the White Sox. He wants to blame Sevi Zavala. It's just because he has a fucking hard on to blame the White Sox for everything because he's a fucking dirtbag. He doesn't know anything about sports. But simply put, yeah, no, I mean, that's O'Neal Cruz's fault. And yeah, for them to have to make it even worse, and I'll definitely get into it later with the White Sox check-in. That little what do we call bases clear, or not bases clearing, the benches clearing little brawl or scuffle that happened at home plate that led to Joe Kelly actually going on the IL. He pulled his groin.
What?
Getting out of the dugout, getting out of the bullpen so fast.
Only the Sox.
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess already piling on top of Eloy goes down. Moncada might be a little shaken up. Tim Anderson goes on the IL today. Joe Kelly, we just deactivated Jose Ruiz. So RIP my my take about Jose Ruiz and Ronaldo Lopez. At least Ronaldo Lopez gets his second save of the season. But yeah,
This
Jose
early
Ruiz,
in the season,
yeah, Jose Ruiz gets dealt to the Diamondbacks for cash.
like we're cooked this
I mean,
early.
luckily, we're able to, we're staying afloat right now. The Central's still kind of up for grabs. Some teams are getting hot, but we play 162 for a reason. That's basically what we're doing right now. So yeah, I mean, I'm with you. I mean, you're not gonna convince me otherwise that it's the White Sox fault for O'Neal Cruz sliding into the home plate as dumb as he did. So it's just simply put, I'm no expert when it comes to baseball. I probably haven't played since T-ball recreationally. So, but still, it doesn't take an expert to know that he
He's a
could have done
young
better.
guy, and he's still learning. And I mean, it doesn't help. I mean, he's like 6'8", so I mean,
Yeah,
it's like
no,
it's
he'll be back very soon. This isn't a season-ending injury by any means, but it's just going to be definitely a setback. This would have been a flyer for me had he not just gone down this early in the season. I probably would have sprinkled a little bit on him for MVP just because,
mm,
dude, he's just so yacked in the way he
he's
approaches at
huge.
bats. Yeah, he's just so I mean, just built like Aaron Judge. He's as
Yeah,
fast as Trey Turner in some aspects. He's stealing bait. He's gonna be a 30-30 for sure if he didn't get this injury right now. But yeah,
he's shortstop, right?
yes, he is. And yeah, just having such a valued thing like that. He has a
When you're that
cannon for an
lengthy and
arm.
that athletic,
Yeah,
oof,
he broke the
that's
record last year for the fastest infield throw to first base, recorded like 111 miles an hour, something like that, something ridiculous. Between 109 111 or something like that. So
so yeah. I mean,
he's
that's
definitely when he gets healthy, he's a threat, and that's why I probably would have had him. I would have sprinkled a little bit on him MVP wise this year, but the Pirates probably aren't going to do anything too crazy this year. Tough division, just between them, the Cardinals, and I guess the Cubs want to play. I don't know, and the
mm.
Brewers too. Brewers are red hot right now. I think they're like 7-2. Anywho, was that anything else on that play in general? Anything else on the White Sox for you?
Um,
Like I said, I'll kind of maybe I'll
I've been
my
watching. I have been watching. I mean, some of the games lately, just as I've been working and stuff. So I mean, they've. I mean, they're on and off. I mean, it's like like they had the one game the other day. They lost 1-0, and then the next day they win like fucking. It was 4-3. It was a close one, but it's just. And they have been getting a lot high scoring games, but
yeah,
the pitching is what's fucking us right now. So they just need to
absolutely.
figure that out. And
Seems to be Dylan Cease and Clevenger are the only ones that want to show up, and Giolito, Lance Lynn, and Kopech not so good, especially Kopech giving up 4 home runs in the same inning. That was
and I
people.
watched the John Boy
Yeah,
breakdown of them
yeah,
tipping
but he
his
might have been
pitches.
tipping.
I was like, damn.
It's again young things, young talent. You just have to figure that one out as you go. You make sure you're not doing that. Even I mean, still older pitchers still do that too, and just got to get in there. Got to make sure that you're exactly doing that. You're not tipping yourself. You're just holding the ball already in the same position. You're like, oh, here comes a slider. I already know that because he's already has his hand in the glove or something. I don't know if exactly that's what it was, but
hmm
either way, there's just little tells like that. That's why I still like the game of baseball. That's why you got to get in the
Yeah, it's
flow
the
of
little
that.
stuff like that's fun. And I'm gonna just say right now, I mean, just to put it on record, I talk so much shit about the pitch clock, but it's actually been pretty cool because I do like that the games are shortened because I always felt like baseball was a little too long. So it actually it gives me some incentive to like want to go to more Sox games and stuff and be like,
Absolutely,
I'm
not
not
just
gonna
go to
be
them.
there like all day long.
Yeah,
Like,
you might be like oh last second I can go during the week because I know I'm not going to be there until 11 o'clock at night. I'm not going to pull into my house at 11:30, getting off the train or taking an Uber or something like that,
hmm
or if I drove down there or something like that. Either way, like there's tons of benefits from it. I again the going from like 3 hours and 11 minutes to 2 hours and 45 minutes was the average from opening weekend. So
There's some games ending in like fucking 2 hours
yeah,
this year.
yeah.
Like it's crazy.
Absolutely, absolutely. I love it. The pace of it is absolutely phenomenal, and it's not like we're lacking it. For every 1-0 game that's still popping up, you're getting another 16-15 game or something like that that's still happening, and that's kind of what is happening. So I'll just
And
touch
all
upon.
all
Oh,
the
sorry.
players still get their like timeouts and shit. I've been noticing like people
Yeah,
they get one timeout a game, I think it was, or something or something like that, so they can still, if they got to readjust their gloves or some shit, take a break. You can without
yeah.
the clock. But I mean, I
You just
feel
got to
like they're
make
already
sure you
starting to
get
figure it
it
out.
called in time, like Tim Anderson did. Make sure you're not you're not yelling about balls and strikes, and that's not really a pitch clock violation thing. That was just a miscommunication. I mean, I guess if I want to be pro pitch clock on that one, it's either or, and that didn't really lead to his ejection. It led to him chirping at Logan Webb or Alex Wood or whoever was on the
Hmm.
mound at the time, and that led to his ejection. That wasn't the pitch clock. So
I wasn't talking to you. I was talking to that motherfucker right there.
I
The
mean, yeah, he fast pitched him, and that's exactly again another thing that's utilized. And I don't know, there's still tons of other things like the disengagements, the amount of the unlimited disengagements that a catcher can have, and stuff like that. I just saw the other day it was an error by the Mets. They overthrew Pete Alonso over on first base because he was coming in trying to avoid being bunted on or something like that.
Hmm.
Uh, but the catcher overthrows Pete Alonso, and the right fielder's able to clean it up. And just a couple, they planned it out as a error play. They could have probably got the base runner out. So it's little stuff like that where you like, oh, I threw it. Oh no, I accidentally overthrew it, but I meant to throw it to the right fielder so he can bang you out at second, who comes up a
Hmm.
little bit close. It could just be something like that. I don't know. That's just something that's crazy little stuff like that that can be popping off. So
Just one more quick thing. I love the
sure,
no shift. The no shift has
yeah,
been awesome. I
helping
said
out
that the
Yaz,
Yeah,
helping
that's
out
exactly what I
Yasmani.
was gonna say. Like they were Steve Stone and how could I forget? What's
But
the other one?
not a
Yeah, how can I forget Jason Benetti? I don't know why it just slipped my mind. But yeah, they were saying like this is gonna help Yaz so much, who they said would always just get fucked by the shift last past couple seasons. So
mm-hmm.
it's
Coming up
just
in this
nice.
season.
It's
Oh,
nice to
sorry,
being
good.
able to, it's nice to be able to get hits with like we always say, like I would always say, like last year I'm like there should be a fucking hit, but they got all these people lined up on the side. It's so
Mm.
stupid. So it's fine. It's nice for them to get their stats up and shit like that.
Yeah, I was anti-shift just for the sake of like if you're a grown athlete, you're an adult, you're getting paid X amount, you should be able to hit it to all facets of the offense. But I'll pull it back for the sake of if it's helping my boy Yaz, hey, that's good. That's good for us. I'll take it. I'll like it until I don't, I guess. But I mean, for sure, that's fine. Again, helping the offense go and teams, and helping Yasmani in a contract year for sure. So he'll be able to get the average up, still add to those walk stats and get those RBIs up as well. So that'll be nice. Uh, yeah, just like I said, still touching upon White Sox really quick. You know, nothing new with all these injuries, but it is nice that the young talent like Oscar Colas and Hanser Alberto
Mm,
are getting in there, getting their hits. While Oscar Colas he's known as the Cuban Ohtani, so that's pretty cool. I didn't know.
wow.
Yeah, so I didn't know that up until today. That's his nickname. So when we have Cuban Ohtani, I, I like him playing. I like him playing just about every day. So that's pretty cool. The at bat, the discipline at bats will come, especially when he's got a runner on first and second with one out. You got to put one in. You can't just be swinging at three straight balls and stuff like that. So the discipline will come as time comes. Hanser Alberto, I mean, both of them have been able to get their first career home run already. Hanser Alberto hit his yesterday, being Monday as we're
After the
recording today.
error.
Yeah, exactly. So that was pretty good. I mean, the only other thing I guess would say, yeah, Tim Anderson. To me, at the time, I've kind of pulled back on it as well. I thought it might have been almost intentional by that Twins guy, that collision, but it looked avoidable all in general. I don't know. The White Sox, as of like the White Sox defense has been looking a little lax, giving up way more runs that they should have. That's kind of why it's halfway on the pitching, somewhat on the defense for sure. Gavin Sheets' error. I mean, that was all in one that kind of represented everything that the White Sox have been struggling with. Goes through the wickets. He just stands in one place. The base runner runs right into him. He cuts off Oscar Colas's and throw to home. What's like, again, if he's got a cannon of an arm, Cuban Ohtani, let him throw to home, and he cuts it off, which again probably would have either contested it or he would have been out at home plate. Either way, Gavin Sheets steps in for no apparent reason and screws it all up. So that's that. So I mean, yeah, again, impromptu White Sox check-in. I'm fine with that. Other than that, Liam Hendricks cancer free. Ring that damn bell, baby. Yeah, I love it. By no means, we're not going to rush him to the bullpen. I think we need him, but I mean, I think the first thing that's probably one of the first things he thought of after celebrating with his family for sure. It's good. It's as good of a time as now for him to get in there, I'm sure. But let him take it easy. He'll get in there. He's gonna be itching. He's gonna be itching to throw as many innings as he can. I'm sure. So congrats to Liam Hendricks for sure. Like I said, going through any other notes in my thing, I think that's about wraps up White Sox.
I want to say that Alberto Hanser guy. I think I like him. He's fucking big.
Yeah, Hanser Alberto. Ooh, he's a big boy.
Look out, man.
I like our squad. And again, with TA going down on the IL, I believe Leon. I'm gonna butcher his first name for sure. Leon Sosa getting the call up, but I think Jake Berger will probably be getting some third base reps for sure, with Moncada still a little gimpy. I believe his ankle or his back, or maybe even both. So we'll get some time in that. Leon Sosa over in shortstop, or maybe even, oh my goodness, maybe even Elvis Andrews can play some short. Get Sosa over at second, yeah, so on and so forth. Yeah, there you go. I just like that. We got some young talent. We got the boys rolling. Andrew Vaughn, the cyborg, he's having some nice at bats as well. So can't go wrong. Cannot go wrong. And then of course I like Luis Robert cranking out some home runs here and there as well. There we go.
Yeah.
That about that. I think I've said it about 4 or 5 times. But that's about it for White Sox. But that's about it for White Sox in terms of my notes. I think I'm all good on that one. If you are, we can jump back into
you
wrestling.
Want to hit the wrestling?
Yeah, we'll hit the wrestling. We'll hit the big announcements. And then just for the sake of time, we'll also get the Logan Paul story in there, because I figured you want to get some little bash on that. There you go. Perfect. The picture. Let's compare some big announcements in the wrestling world, the wrestling realm. It's usually what we cap it off with, but again, for the time's sake, gonna hit it first. Triple H came out on this was Friday. Was it, when did he announce the draft? Was that Monday or Friday?
Friday.
So Friday Night SmackDown, he hits it halfway through the program. More or less the same thing. I don't know why WWE marks were like, oh, it's not like he did this Tony Khan thing where it said, boo, bang, bing, wow, ping, pow, boo, big major announcement that's going to change the game. But that's essentially what they did. And that's what they were going to do. Yeah, the draft, that everyone cares so much about, / it doesn't really matter because the bloodline shows up on Raw and SmackDown at any points in time. Judgment Day shows up on SmackDown. Whoever's the most over is going to be on both shows. So the draft necessarily doesn't matter, but it's going to change the game. Don't worry, guys. It's going to change the game. But let's talk about one.
The draft doesn't matter.
What? Yeah, dude. I mean, I don't know. I went back and forth with some dude about it. I'm just like, about comparing big announcements, and that, of course, I'm just gonna not linger on it anymore. AEW's big announcement was heading across the pond to Wembley Stadium for All In. They're not calling it All In 2, but for another All In, gonna be doing their best to sell out close to what 90K is what the capacity is. I'm sure it'll cut down a little bit for the sake of just the pyro / the stage and all that, but there's also standing room availability as well. So I also saw the price ranges between 30 pounds and 500 pounds. So not too shabby, mate. You grab a couple of your mates, grab a pint or two, and then you head on over to Wembley, have a good old time. I mean, between that, I'm not the 100 years of Wembley. I'm sure again that means there's a ton of rich history I'm sure. I mean, we can do a whole podcast for sure about of everything that went down there, but we don't have the time
That's
here today.
crazy. They're celebrating the 100-year anniversary for that too. Wow.
AEW, baby. I mean, the dream matches galore, and that was exactly my point. We're going back and forth with this dude on Twitter. Was like the dream matches, and he goes, "Oh, hit me with the dream matches." I'm like, "Oh, sorry, dude. I don't think almost getting drafted to SmackDown is going to be as big as the main event, whatever that may be, of this All-In pay-per-view. I don't. It's simply put. I mean, whatever it may be, there's going to be tons of speculation. If it's Kenny Omega versus
CM Punk.
CM Punk, or they finally do CM FTR versus the Elite, or
Yeah, they
something like
have to.
that.
I don't. They have to.
They
They
have
have to.
they have to do that. I mean, I'm sure they'll do. MJF will probably still be the champion at that time. I don't think he's going to drop it until, I don't know, another. If it they'll hit this pay-per-view with Forbidden Door, and then there'll probably be another one in between, and then they'll probably have this, and
Yeah,
then they'll
because this is
probably
in July,
yeah.
I
So
think, right?
I
Or
would
no,
think
August is in August.
yeah, maybe full gear, or maybe we get a full year of MJF. I mean, I personally don't mind. I would gonna go right with the wheels fall off with this MJF world title run. I don't care. Uh, but yeah, I mean, again, I think this is hands down has to be better than the yeah, there's no comparison. This All-In announcement was much larger than the draft. No matter whatever you want to spin zone it, however you want to say that, like, oh, the draft is going to be our new year, our new, like, everything's going to restart, and we're going to finally get new storylines and shit like that.
Shut up.
Boring. And then again, for anyone that doesn't read into like dirt sheets / just aren't really subscribed on Facebook pages and stuff like that, people already knew that the draft was going to be coming back sometime soon. So this isn't new news. This All-In at Wembley was brand new news. No one knew. So we had an inkling of a London tour. We didn't know it was going to be this big. So again, this is bonkos. This is
It's insane.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to just sit there and be like, "Oh, they're jerking AEW off again" or whatever, the dream matches galore for sure. The AEW has cracked the code. They have the Forbidden Door wide open, not WWE. It shows time and time again. We got Jay White, not you. You guys enjoy Matt Riddle. No shade on him, but you get him, you get Miz, you get you get Dominic Mysterio, and we'll enjoy.
Yeah, again, have fun with
Everybody else.
Omos versus Elias. We'll be watching Kenny Omega versus Will Ospreay.
Yeah,
So
yeah, and exactly. If
most
you
of
like
you
squash
most of you
matches.
WWE fans probably have no clue who Will Ospreay is. So maybe you should watch AEW so you can actually see good wrestlers.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, they did, to be fair, Raw did a little bit of a good attempt to get actual wrestling matches on this week, and I didn't catch much of it, but Solo Sikoa versus Kevin Owens, and there
And
was
Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez winning the tag titles in the most
there
obvious
wasn't, I don't
Trish
think,
heel
yeah,
turn
exactly.
ever.
Oh, I didn't even know it was a heel turn. I
Yeah,
actually didn't
earlier
really
in
know
the
what
night,
happened.
I was watching it just for the fuck of it because I wanted to see how bad it was, honestly. I
To
was
be
just
fair,
had
there
it
was
on the
nothing
background.
on
Yeah,
basketball had
exactly.
ended. There's just nothing. There's nothing
I was
on.
waiting for my brother to slide over. See, I just had it on and I was just watching it in the background, and they had like Lita got attacked earlier in the night, and it was like, oh, Lita can't defend her titles, and we don't know who attacked her. And Trish was like, I'll step in for Lita, and then Trish got rolled up,
Oh
and
my
like
god.
it was like I thought she was gonna like attack Becky during the match or something, but like she just gets rolled up by Liv Morgan, and it's a 3 count. And then after the match, it's like the worst heel turn ever.
Wow.
It's like a botched heel turn. She barely clotheslines her, and I was like, oh no.
And I mean, I guess I'm looking at the negative of course, but immediately burying your new women's tag team champions to main your focal point, this heel turn, as again,
That
I
is
mean,
true.
if that's what you want, you're
Well,
trying to
building
make.
up one of their new rising stars, Trish Stratus. She hasn't been around long,
Oh yeah,
gotta
that's right, the new face of the company, Trish
yeah,
Stratus.
gotta make sure she gets her spotlight now. So
Yeah, I mean, she's got to do something to get in the Hall of Fame, right? Oh wait, she's already in. What?
Hmm.
Since What? What? What?
What?
Oh my God, this is crazy. Well, since when does WWE bring back old legends just to bring back old nostalgia viewers? God, that's
I can't
criminal.
remember. Yeah, I can't
Oh God, I
remember.
can't remember between. Well, I mean, the Goldberg,
Rock,
Rock, yeah.
Goldberg, yeah.
Undertaker's retirement, Ric Flair's retirement. They bring back Brett Favre. Don't bring back Brett Favre. You'll steal something. But I mean, yeah, they don't do that. That's usually not in their wheelhouse. So I'm
No,
very
not
surprised
often.
that WWE would do that. Shame on them for trying to do that.
But shame on AEW for, getting the actual WWE guys that aren't washed up and like old as fuck and
Yeah.
have a good credibility. Even, talk shit about them for wrestling on AEW. But
Sidebar, how about Eric Young? They're trying to blow his cover. He's just been sitting on the shelf for the past 5 months. His Twitter thing goes around.
Why are you paying him, man?
It's also why you paying him. It's also like, damn, bro, shut up. He's getting paid to just like chill, sit around, do nothing.
That's true.
Don't blow his cover, man. Dude, chill. Again, there's tons of arguments with that. You're like, oh, he might not have anything creatively for him. I don't know if he's dealing with an injury. There's going to be tons of. I personally like Eric Young. I've liked him since the TNA days. I like this little, lunatic thing he had when he was Insanity. But that's kind of where it's going to be. He's not.
Yeah, I mean, they got to find a way to bring that back for him in some way.
So he would be his role is probably gonna be limited to coaching / just putting the young talent over, because him getting a title run past the North American title on NXT would be probably his peak, I would think, in my mind, or something like that. I don't know. I may be a little disrespectful, but that's about it. That's really about it.
Accurate.
In terms of that. Yeah. So that's basically it with that. So again, be my guest to compare Tony Khan to Triple H's
please,
big announcements. And again, I reiterate to what we said last week. Stay in your lane, Triple H, of these big announcements. Let Tony Khan stick to that. You can stick to just bearing your own talent like you seem to be doing left and right.
And what a fucking what a hot start to fucking Dynamite after the shitty ass Raw that they had last week. And Tony Khan immediately, like literally within the first minute of Dynamite, Jay White comes out, and I was like, wow. Yes. What a fucking way to be. Like, if anyone's tuning in,
that was a statement. That was as much as that was almost as much of a fuck you as they possibly could. Like, hey, we are here. We're not gonna be. We know what we are, but we're gonna make noise and we're gonna do exactly what we're supposed to do. They sent everyone home happy. FTR wins the tag champions. Everyone went home happy.
The story ended.
Yeah, there you go. Simply put. And now we have all these things and all these other things, and the Guns still have their heat because they're little shitheads that are entertaining. They're good. Like, again, the homegrown talent on there is phenomenal. So call us Dick Riders for AEW all you want. They're the go-to for good wrestling, and WWE is the cinematic storyline, all that jazz. They're gonna pay the big celebrities like they do, and kind of like they did with Logan Paul.
They got the big platforms, they got the big fireworks, the big arenas,
and
the big LED
that's
screens.
Theirs every single time. I'll give them. They have probably the best editing and the putting together those packages to make me feel like that. Like, again, like we were saying during the WrestleMania thing, just the way they were recapping is like, damn, that was actually pretty. These storylines aren't half bad. Maybe we'll actually get into it. And then sure enough, the matches happen, and we're like, oh, okay, yeah.
So yeah, they got all that stuff, but what does AEW have? Wrestling, baby. So
at the very core, it is wrestling. You can say they're lacking story or they're lacking people on good mic and whatever.
They've got AEW's got great story.
Yeah. Again, people nitpick and everything, and it's the head honchos, it's the big YouTubers, the influencers like that just steamroll it and want to put past it everything. But you gotta put the positive in it. Everyone just wants to shit on modern day wrestling right now. Yeah, for good reason, or for not good reason. They just
when are people not shitting on wrestling?
I know, it's tough. I know I got a couple more minutes with you, so let me just get this.
Is there something else that we can hit?
Yeah, Logan Paul getting extended. I know you're a big fan of
He
his.
said this picture wasn't Photoshop, but it obviously is, right?
Without a doubt. It's you can see it was the close up in the Triple H's hand that is what did it for me. You can clearly still see. I mean, you can take the viewer can take the time in their own hand. If you zoom in to the jacket when it's yellow, you still see the outline of blue on
Yeah.
Triple H's hand. So that's what that was. So
The
if
finger looks like it's in the same spot. I
Oh, it's
don't
the
know.
same photo. They just again the only thing different. They changed the color of the jacket. They changed the prime bottle. It's the prime bottles in the same exact spot
Yeah, that's
verbatim,
true.
and
And
then
they
they
just
just
took Stephanie out.
yeah they cropped her out. So I mean again I have no problem with it. It's just that they just you couldn't have made the effort. You couldn't have done anything else, or just not put it out. People are gonna find out. People are for sure gonna find out.
But I guess that's probably why he did it, you know, all the publicity, all the shit like publicity he's gotten from it, you know, it's good.
Yeah,
You know,
no,
any
it's
publicity is good publicity.
yeah, and I'll say that at the very least. He said something else over the weekend. He said wrestling is the hardest thing he's done. So you know what? A little bit of respect on him for that, honestly. So he's again, you've said it before. He's taking it seriously among all the celebrity WWE wrestlers that come and gone as time has passed.
It's like
He's taking it
considering
seriously.
that he boxed Floyd Mayweather and he said this is the hardest thing that he's ever done. So it
Okay.
says
Okay. All right.
something.
Now that means a little bit less now. Thank you for saying that. That's a character check. See, that's why we got this. That's why we got the tandem right here. It
But still,
makes
like you said, I respect. I always say I've said it every time. I talk shit about him all the time, but he really is. He's good at this. So I'm glad that they renewed him, and
puts on pretty good performances for
he'll
sure.
probably win his next match, whatever it is. He's lost. I think he's lost his last two. So I mean, if he's got to win at some point, you know.
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, wasn't he the tag champions with the Miz, or was
Was
I was
he?
no,
No.
maybe that was with Shane McMahon. I don't know. Shane McMahon and the Miz were tag
Yeah,
champions.
I don't think Logan Paul's won a match yet.
Okay. Yeah, probably not. Probably not. Either way, then there was also some controversy with him of the WrestleMania payout that Rollins got 5 times less than Logan Paul,
What?
even though Rollins went over in the match. So I don't know if
Is
there's
that true?
I saw that really quick
That's fucked up if
I saw
that's
that really
true.
quick in my little rundown on Facebook and stuff like that for stories and stuff like that. So I can only take the
That
page
made me
the article.
mad. If that's true,
If that is true, that's a little wonky. But again, he's a businessman. He's pulling the trigger. He knows what he brings more to the table than Rollins does. I don't know what the follower count is, but Logan Paul's followers are going to be more than Seth Rollins' followers are or his feed. So I'll give him that in that aspect if that's how they were tallying it. But in the wrestling realm, that's a little fucked up considering they did the exact same thing. They had the exact same job, and
Seth
Rollins actually
Rollins
went
has
over.
been doing this for years and is a way better wrestler than him, but
Yeah, yeah. That's just what the prime money can do. It bringing it in all over the place. There we go.
god damn it. Baby man.
Well, I didn't mean I don't want to leave you. I don't want to leave you off, Matt. I'll leave you off with something. We got a couple more wrestling things to get into, but I'm gonna get you with one really quick just before you leave. The Jets got a quarterback, Mike. The Jets got a quarterback, former Packer. He's a veteran and a leader in that locker room.
Uh-huh.
Someone for the kids in New York to look up to. Kids, get ready to buy some ice cream
Finally.
because the Jets have acquired Tim Boyle. Welcome to the squad, Jet. Welcome to the squad, Tim Boyle. Welcome to the Jets. Still no Aaron Rodgers news. Still nothing like that. But they have their future in former Packer, former Bear, Tim Boyle. When will this end? When will
Another
this end?
friend of Rogers.
Yeah. Hopefully just bringing in more people for him to hang out with and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
I thought that Odell was gonna sign with them, but
Nope. Over to the
quick,
Ravens he goes for a year and
yeah, just
18
quick
million.
transition before I leave. Odell signs with the Ravens and John Harbaugh, so Lamar Jackson will get well, I mean, he'll probably play this season for sure, but it would be fun to see him and Odell if Odell is able to stay healthy. So I mean, if they still got Mark Andrews, he's one of the best tight ends in the league, and it's other than Odell though. I, I don't know,
Yeah, Mark Andrews.
Devin
If you want
Duvernay.
Devin Duvernay, if you like Rashad Bateman coming off an injury, I believe
Mm.
that's your wide receiver core.
So
Otherwise, I mean, to be fair, this will be Lamar Jackson if he's there. That's going to be his first big wide receiver option to throw to, I suppose. I think that's pretty
Odell
exciting.
gets what he wants. He said he wanted to be the top guy, and he wanted like $18 million a year. So
Yeah.
he got that. But if Lamar leaves next year, then I mean, enjoy this season, my dude.
I did like the post from Sports Center. They put up exactly what you put. You had Lamar, you had the wide receiver core, you had Mark Andrews, and it was just the top reply was the Magic Johnson thing of, I'm not gonna be here next time. I'm not gonna be here next year.
Yeah, it's like puts like those fake it's like, what's this offense gonna do next year? It's like, no, there's not gonna be a next.
No, exactly. So yeah, we can leave you off on that. That seems pretty good. I know you got, like I said, you're heading off to go see Super Mario Brothers again. Go ahead and enjoy that. I'll go ahead and be wrapping it up over here with basically everything else. So thank you for joining. I know, like I said, enjoy the time, cramming in as much as you can, in many topics as we can. I think we hit some good spots for you, hit the high spots for you as well. So enjoy your time. Take care. Any final thoughts, final words for the people?
It is always a great time, man. I wish, just if we weren't seeing the movie today, I would obviously be here the whole time. I always love doing this. And I hope that you have a great rest of the podcast, man. I'm excited
Check the
to
rest
see
of it
this
out later.
Mario.
You know it. It'll be on
Oh
YouTube.
yeah.
For sure. Alrighty. Take care, Mikey. We'll see you. Enjoy the time, enjoy the theater, enjoy some popcorn, and tell Troy what's up, and tell Alan to take his notes.
You know it.
And tell Bobby what's up too.
I will.
All right, for sure. We'll
Peace
catch
out,
you.
man. I'll talk to y'all.
Thank you very much. There we go. That was, of course, Mikey J. Fat Cat. Thank you for joining us as always, Mikey J. We'll be cleaning up over here. I'll be doing my custodial work. Like I said, don't touch that dial. I know my ugly mug will probably scare you just with me being by myself, but I swear, I'm just gonna be just as entertaining without Mike. I swear, it'll be just as good. I know. Don't put my foot to the fire. So, we kind of jumped all over the place. I know we were, like I said, I just wanted to do as many fun topics with Mike as we could throughout the time. I'll just finish up with the wrestling. Like I said, finish with the big announcements. Finish with the Logan Paul stuff. Let's see. Had some unfortunate news. Sabu, former ECW original, well, still once an original, always an original ECW original, rushed to the hospital, but via Twitter posting that he is A-OK. He was supposed to be at an Indianapolis meet and greet, giving his exactly doing that, having a meet and greet, doing some signings, but unfortunately wasn't able to make it. They're being rushed to the hospital. The patrons, the people that went ahead and took their time, they were giving their money back for everything, but I'm sure the fans were just relieved to hear that he was okay in general. So that's for you, Sabu. He's going to go ahead and, again, not pass away, but that's just what he does for those who don't know. Still recovering, still doing all right. Be able to maybe check in on his Twitter, see if he's still doing any updates throughout the time. So get well soon, Sabu. I know he just had some recent surgeries on like that a couple years ago with his hip. So of course he's just, a little up there when you just want our heroes and stuff like that. Just take it easy and just not to keep ruining their bodies. So Sabu, take it easy. We'll get you going. Let's see. I wanted to also, as long as we're comparing stuff earlier, comparing big announcements, I was going to compare fan interactions throughout the week. Who had a better interaction? Was it going to be Izzy? UFC 287 happened. Got Israel Adesanya. There we go. Didn't have to pull up my phone on that one. He went ahead and mocked Alex's son after KOing his dad. That one was pretty fun. Was that a worse interaction, or was it MJF nut tapping a kid during a photo op, or also making a baby cry? Or also, in my opinion, the worst thing of all was he tossed signed figures that he was doing. So he was just a menace this weekend, doing all sorts of awful things. So I guess in that point, I'll lean towards MJF because it was piling up in terms of how many. But Damn, that's pretty disrespectful to have have a 5-year feud with a 10-year-old. That's pretty wild. That's pretty bonkers on Israel Adesanya's side. So we'll go ahead and you can go ahead and be the judge for that on yourself. Still talking in the realm of UFC 287. If you went ahead and checked that out, I didn't personally. Sometimes it's a hit or miss on these UFC pay-per-views. I've also just been dealing with some other stuff on the side. It was also, just family weekend. You're dealing with the Easter stuff. So there's all that fun stuff. Either way, Jorge Masvidal went ahead and announced his retirement after losing to Gilbert Burns at UFC 287. I just felt, he went ahead and he retired in his current residence, possibly his hometown of Miami. Just like a true wrestling fan that he is, I thought it was pretty cool that he went out putting a guy over right before he retired. Of course, that being, like I just said, Gilbert Burns. So pretty cool on for Jorge Masvidal. Just keeping the tradition alive. Like I said, you go out on your back. That's kind of how you do it. Of course, he didn't get knocked out. It was a unanimous decision for Gilbert Burns. So there we go. There's that. And I believe last little thing, there was just one correction that I had. About the Gisele Shaw Rick Steiner story from last week, still being kind of touched upon. The Rick Steiner was questioned by some paparazzi, but declined to answer anything. For at least the video I saw from a former TMZ reporter. I mean, as much as you want to, I guess, give him credibility or anything like that, it's kind of gross the way that he was not only just following Rick Steiner, but just so happened to be following Lex Luger, who he's in a wheelchair, dude. Kind of just give the guy some time apart, not to deal with that BS, along with Rick Steiner wrapping him up in that stuff as well. So either way, my correction, of course, was just on the Gisele Shaw side of I went ahead and said that she was in NXT. She was not in NXT. She's currently on Impact. So my bad. The only other thing, I guess, still technically correct that I said was she didn't make it to the main roster in WWE. So still technically right in that aspect. Still opportunity. We'll see how that time comes. I believe that might be wrapping it up on the wrestling realm. So like I said, hit the high spots with Mike earlier, comparing big announcements and Logan Paul, all that fun jazz. They're able to also run over some UFC 287. So that was pretty cool as well. Let's see. We can jump around. We already hit some White Sox, but I'll just blow through that as well. You know what, actually? Yeah, no, I'll hit the White Sox stuff. We'll just get through the rest of the league stuff that I have right here. And then I can just hit NBA because we actually have the Bulls. We got the Bulls are in the playoffs. So that's pretty cool. We're going to go ahead and talk about that. But really quick, around the league in the MLB, the art of the NRFI, like I said, I already mentioned it earlier a little bit, but just for the sake of me being able to timestamp it, art of the NRFI omission. I went ahead and talked about a bunch of things last week about be a weather bug. Make sure you're checking. You just simply put, take the aces. That's what you want to do. Make sure you're watching who's hot, who's not in the lineup, and who's pitching that day, obviously. But we wanted to avoid some things. Not only did we want to avoid Yankee Stadium, but we want to avoid this little nugget as well. We want to avoid going to Rockies Stadium, wherever that may be called right now. I think it still might be Coors Stadium, Coors Field. But we want to avoid the elevation. That will be the death of you. It's simply put, you think it's going to be a fly ball, but it's 425 feet in the center field. So you want to avoid anything like that. The altitude will absolutely ruin your NRFI. In turn, they will ruin your bank account. So be aware. Watch that. Let's see. The Brewers Stadium is going to be selling beer after the 7th inning. That's pretty cool. Breaking tradition a little bit, somewhat. Obviously, that's the go-to 7th inning last call. But with the pitch clock being so prevalent as it is, and being as effective as it has been, like Mike said earlier in this episode, cutting some games down to 2 hours, 2 hours and 30 minutes, 2 hours and 45 is currently the average as of right now. It's a little less sales, and when it comes to some concessions, a little less time over at the watering hole. So get a couple more innings in you, get a couple more tips in the commission, in the cashier's pocket. That seems like, make a little bit of more cash around here, as long as you're Excuse me. As long as you're drinking responsibly, I think that's pretty cool. So like that's all right. As long as you got your DD or an Uber or yeah, like I said, you got your buddy over there. He's like, I'm good. I'm just having hot dogs today. That's all you need. So seventh inning or post seventh inning, being able to buy beers in Brewers. I mean, it's called what? American Family Field. Yeah, it's fine too. I just it used to be things are changing. I don't like it. Finally, in the around the league section of the MLB, Ohtani, this was always fun. He's going to be, I'm sure he's going to have tons in the future. He already has tons now of first player two honors, but here's another one for him. First player, I'm going to say it all botched, oddball botched too. Watch this. First to have the pitching violation called on him while pitching and hitting in the same game. Obviously, it's some time apart, but I believe the start against the A's, or he just one of his two recent starts, got the pitching clock violation, got an automatic ball called for the hitter as he wasn't engaged in time to throw a pitch, and same thing, didn't have his bat up in time, wasn't engaged while hitting, so he was called for an automatic strike. I think he probably will be, considering that the pitchers aren't going to be hitting anymore. He'll probably be the only one that ends up happening. Or to be fair, there's going to be some position players when there's some blowouts throughout the year. The White Sox have already had a couple position players go up there as well. So there's still some opportunity for that. But in terms of regulars and regular starting pitchers, it's probably just going to be Ohtani when it comes to that. So always fun to see stuff like that. Looking again over my notes in the White Sox area of things, I think it basically covered everything impromptu with that earlier, so that's good. Go ahead and check that out earlier in the episode, and we'll go ahead and flip over to the NBA side of things with a Bulls check-in. Let's see here. Let me get a quick little sip of the Mountain Dew. There we go. Refreshing. That's it. It hits the sweet spot every time. The Bulls are in, baby. We're playing Toronto. Either way, we would have to, being if we were the 9th seed or the 10th seed, didn't matter. We would have to play 2 games to get in. I'll go ahead and check and peek. Actually, no, I don't have to because they're playing in a couple. They might already be playing right now. Miami and Atlanta. I think Miami's going to go ahead and take that game. I already put my points bet for you. Oh, excuse me. I'll have to scratch that one out. I got a free bet from a other account. They gave me a free bet. I went ahead and gave the spread for the Heat and the over in that game at 229 or something like that. So not too shabby. I think the Heat, regardless, I think the Heat win. The Hawks have been in absolute shambles. In which case, I would love for them to play the Bulls in the next round. But the Bulls, of course, have to get past Toronto. The only thing I wish I did my homework and I had the Toronto versus Bulls matchups throughout the year. Of course, they play at least 3 or 4 times throughout the year, so it's always nice to have some sort of engagement of what's going to be coming. Yeah, as the Bulls play on Wednesday, that being tomorrow, as we're recording currently. Past matchups. Oh my God. Regular season series. Oh, well, the Bulls went 1-2 against them. Some high scoring affairs, somewhat. Let's see, 113 to 104, with the Raptors being favored on November 6th. The very next day, played each other the very next day in Chicago. Bulls went ahead and took that 111-97 on a turnaround, and they kept it close in Game 3 on February 28th, 104 to 98. So it's not entirely out of reach that the Bulls are able to sneak one past this team. I'm sure no injury. Everyone's pretty much no injury report here. Got no one on either side for Toronto or the Bulls going. Zach LaVine, Pat Bev. That's who I accidentally messed up on the tweet that I had. But it was DeRozan, LaVine, and Pat Bev all able to take some rest. And they were able to play spoiler against the Mavs, who I will talk about in a quick second, just how atrocious how they don't get into the playoffs. That's insane. But yeah, Bulls going to be having full strength. Let's do it, man. I mean, I'm sure I had my episode, my breakdown. That was just because I was having a fit that day, I'm sure. But bringing it back when you're in the play-in playoff, whatever it may be, if you want to call it the right to be swept in the first round by the Bucks or whatever, that you can call it that too. Uh, there's always a chance. There's always a chance. Again, it's slim to none right now if our first round competition is going to be the Bucks, but there's always an opportunity. Slim chance. I mean, there was the series with Golden State a couple years ago against the Mavericks, led by Baron Davis. I think it was like 2006, 2007. It's not out of the realm of impossibility. It's hard, it's rough, it's tough, and we got a scrappy little squad that can get some stuff done. I mean, between Zach scoring, DeMar DeRozan's, obviously he's just the king of the mid range. He's king of the mid range, and just Pat Beverly just knows how to, I guess, play him in the right spot and push all the right buttons to get everyone in the right play. And then Vooch, I know, bag on him as it was. Bill's favorite thing on him is to call him a 7-foot soccer player. Sure, but he's kind of having a fun time too, putting up some numbers as it is, double almost consistently. And then between him and Patrick Williams, finding out that they are 2 of 10 that all played all 82 games, always showing you that availability is the best ability. So just there's a chance. Am I gonna sit here and tell you that the Bulls are winning, gonna take it home, and we're gonna take every series and it's gonna be a sweep and it's gonna be no. There's these, as long as we don't go out in a pitiful little thing, I'm gonna be okay with it. As long as they go down swinging, like I said, as long as it's just not a blowout, just it shouldn't be. Not to Toronto, they're nothing special. Pascal Siakam is manageable, and I honestly I couldn't even tell you who else is on that team. I'm probably going to throw some shade in that aspect just because I don't know, but that's just because I'm just not well versed. I was very a little taken back on this year with the NBA as it was. So it is what it is. I'm not gonna, best case scenario for the Bulls, we win this game. We win the second play-in game because you got to, for being the 10-9 seed, you got to play 2 for sure. To just get into that 8 spot and solidify that we're gonna play the Bucks. You have to hope and pray that they stub their toe or someone like that, eat some bad soup and they go, oh no, Giannis got diarrhea. He's not gonna be playing game 1. All right, perfect opportunity for the Bulls to get in there. Something silly. I don't know. It could be as silly as that. I don't know, man. There's always a little bit of a prayer, always a little bit of luck and hope. Again, in my mind, as long as they just don't go out looking like chumps, I'm okay with that. With Troy breaking the news to me that we're not going to have a first round pick, we don't have a first round pick. It doesn't really matter, so this is fine. Just hate that the constant purgatory state of, are we going to be good? Are we not going to be good? Don't have enough talent because we're not bad enough to get a first pick overall, and we're not good enough to bring in free agents. So that's kind of where the Bulls are. So I just want to be taking it back a little bit like that. Realistically, I only see maybe, a soft 6 amount of teams being able to actually win the championship. 5 for sure, I think. The 6 I have, the Bucks, the Celtics, and the 76ers over on the east side. I'm going to go with the Warriors. They're very bad on the road. They've been a little spotty. I think they're like 9-37 or something. Not whatever the 42 subtract 9, the 9-31 on the road. Just awful. That's not good. That's not good at all. But I just, with their tight cores, having the same guys, they've been there, they've done that. Basically, still the same dynasty that they've had. They can still make a run. I would say the same thing with the Lakers. Anthony Davis has been playing basically MVP type caliber basketball just because they're all finally healthy. If they want to finally put it together, and they're in the same realm of they have enough people that have been there, done that they can just put it all together when it comes for playoff time, when it truly matters. But they just have to get through the playing game as well. But it shouldn't be a problem. I think they're going up against, oh boy, the Timberwolves, who just lost Rudy Gobert to punching his teammate, and then Jeff McDaniel, who broke his wrist because he went ahead and punched the door or something like that. He punched the outer frame in a hallway. So bad look for my T-Wolves. That's my West Coast squad, so not looking very good on that side of things. I think Karl Anthony Towns might be questionable as well. So we're hoping and praying on that side, but not looking too good on for the T-Wolves in that aspect. But yeah, that's again. So sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Bucks, Celtics, 76ers, Warriors, Lakers. My final squad, and I think that might be my soft six. And you're like, whoa, they're like fourth in the odds. I'm gonna go with the Suns. I only because they've only had this core with Kevin Durant and Devin Booker and DeAndre Ayton for a handful of games. They're probably just not. I mean, it's hard. It's hard to sit there and say when Kevin Durant over these past 25 games is. I've heard some studies 23-2 when Kevin Durant plays. Whenever his team is 23-2 in these last 25 games when he plays, that's the stat. That's the stat, and that's bonkos. He's 10-0 with the Suns. Or 8-0. He hasn't lost yet playing. Of course, he goes down with that, but slipping on a banana peel style injury in warmups. But can't just me trying to be funny, not hating on him for getting injured, but just stuff like that. I don't know if the Suns prove me wrong. I'm fine with it. It's no doubt. But I just for the sake of them not having as many reps as these other squads, it's going to be tough. And I think they're going up against the Clippers in the first round. So nothing to sneeze at for sure. They're gonna have to put on their sneakers and play. Oh my goodness. And let's see. Yeah, I did a sidebar. I got a little carried away. I got a bunch of other things, but speaking of some West Coast squads, a team that could have been there, should have been there for sure. The Mavericks. Wow. Whoa, what a disaster. I don't recall exactly what me and Mike said about them when the trade did go down some odd weeks back. It did for sure happen while we were doing the show. No Substitute for Sports. Go ahead and follow, like, subscribe over here. But damn, I mean, how do you spin zone this? In what way can you make this look good for Kyrie Irving? I mean, there's been all sorts of disasters for him. It's hard to keep face with this guy. I can't. I'm not pro or foe, I guess, of the pro or con, I guess. And on Kyrie Irving, he's got some. He's outspoken for sure. He speaks his mind. Yeah, that one for sure disastrous thing, kind of a black eye, and that's what ended up getting him traded and all sorts of things. But this is crazy. The fact that we put so much also into Luka and that team, but it's really it. It's literally been just Luka. And if you're a casual like me, you can't really name anyone past that. You got Luka, you got that, if he even is on there anymore, Porter, DeAndre, it doesn't matter. Jordan Porter, I don't know. It doesn't matter. They're not even in the playoffs, so it doesn't matter to keep talking about them. I mean, it really did put a damper, maybe by a game or two. The league denied their protested game that they lost to the Golden State Warriors by 2 points to. That could have put a damper on things, but ultimately it probably was just not being able to put it together with Kyrie Irving and the C word of cancer being thrown around. There's a bunch of C words, but the cancerous effect that he has on teams and just maybe the locker room. But Luka's kind of done some things too like that, where he got Rick Carlisle taken out of the coaching situation. He's a pretty good coach. Just stuff like that. Just I don't know. It's kind of a disaster. I'm glad we're not a Dallas Mavericks podcast. I'm sure they're in shambles over there. But this is like I said, that's why I want to focus more on the Bulls and the bright side of that, making sure that they can get through Toronto. That's the first things first. Get through Toronto, and then they'll deal with, again, most likely Miami, who I believe we had a season sweep against them against Miami. So if not, we went 3-1 or something like that. It's pretty good. Pretty good. Bulls. Go Bulls, see red, go Bulls. That's what we want to do. As much as time, just party. Have the United Center popping as much as we can. If you're just get them in for 2 games or something like that. We'll be on the road. We'll be in Toronto for the play-in game, and most likely again on the road if we end up playing Miami. So just let's just have fun. Just have fun. Just go out there and just dunk on some fools and get the Bulls going. Like I said, got nothing to lose necessarily with first round pick position. So just get it done. Get as much as you can. And some of these guys are probably on a contract run, so they're going to want to get paid. So do what you can. I'm not going to sit here and harp on it either which way. If they lose, they're going to end up losing probably. But if they win, we'll just keep supporting them right here on the No Substitute for Sports podcast. Final thing. And that'll be wrapping up in the NBA right here. Former Bull Lauri Markkanen, currently on the Jazz, who, damn, if they would have just made, I had a nice little future on them, like plus 800 to make the playoffs, just to make the playoffs. And that would include the play-in, man. You missed out by 2 games, you lazy sons of guns. That's okay. It was only $8. Lauri Markkanen, he has to serve in the Finnish military over the summer, part of some mandatory military work. Being a Finnish citizen, you have to do this. You have to complete some time. I'm not sure how much. I've read anywhere between 4 months and some other odd time, but they just had to do this before he's 30 years old. It might just be basic training, like I said, out for a couple of months, just doing that, but still pretty gnarly. So from both of us, even though Mike's not here, good luck, Lauri Markkanen. It's gonna be hell. It's probably gonna suck, but gonna teach you some good discipline. That's what the military is all about. So good luck, and damn, I mean, don't get them out there on the battleground. It's gonna be tough to cover a 6'11" guy with whatever sandbags, however else it looks. And I don't know. I'm just drawing the picture of Saving Private Ryan, Vietnam type stuff or whatever. That's not Vietnam. See, war movies are my niche either. So that's just kind of all over the place. That wraps it up there. Take good luck with that, Lauri. We'll go ahead and do that. And good luck with the Bulls. We'll see how that goes as well. Plowing through. Last little thing, kind of, not really. Yeah. This is gonna be the last little sliver on the agenda. I will throw this one in too, just because, like I said, still a couple games left in the NHL realm. But as the NHL playoffs, the Stanley Cup playoffs roll around, I think you'll be hearing more from our boy Wild Bill as that time comes. So I'll be poking him, like, hey, give us your thoughts, give us a couple of some insight, because that's more or less where that was his expertise for sure. That's kind of where I put my feet up and started like, I'm just gonna have to listen to that one. But yeah, I mean, the only thing beyond that, Jonathan Toews might be playing one of his last couple of games this upcoming Thursday, if my days are not off. I don't know. So whenever the season may be coming to a close, that might be the ending of Jonathan Toews' career. So maybe take some time, maybe set that aside on the DVR, watch that. They'll probably put a nice little package together for that if it is ended up being his last game. Regardless, the only other thing that happened, newsworthy, Bruins breaking the regular season wins record. However, that doesn't, like a guy like me will see that and be like, oh, well, that just means they're going to win the whole thing. They're going to win the cup. That doesn't always translate to winning the whole thing, like I just said. So make sure you're watching that. In my mind, that makes the Stanley Cup playoffs probably the most exciting type of playoffs when it comes to things. It's a layup. It's so chalk in the NBA. You know who's going to win. Like I just said, it's going to be the Bucks. It's going to be the Celtics. It's going to be the Suns. It's going to be Denver maybe in their matchup. I just went ahead and stutter hard as could be on that one. But either way, I mean, it's so chalky in the NBA. It's a little bit of somewhat luck and, kind of mostly chalk in the NFL too. That's why there's a little excitement there when it's like, oh man, these 5-point dogs are actually winning still, and they ended up outright winning, just something like that. But hockey, that's where it's at. That's where you can make some money for sure. It's just you're keeping it up, and whether or not you're a casual like me or you're a diehard, or you're just a guy that's like, I don't even know what ice is. You're gonna find excitement in this. You're like, holy cow! It's just between the action itself and just the pace of it. It's not like the NBA where like, oh, it's time for the playoffs. We'll see in 3 months for the final. It's going to be bang bang every other day. So I love that. And when it comes to playoff hockey too. So again, I feel like that's one of the most Very much could be kind of chalky somewhat, or just predictable, but this also could be, one seeds that get swept or two seeds that just, again, maybe something like that where someone goes down, it's a gentleman's sweep the other way, or it's 4-1. So unpredictable, and we love it. That's sports. That keeps us going, keeps us bringing it back in. That's we love that there. All righty. Wrapping it up with some NFL, and like I said, with it just being me, might be getting on a little early today. So make sure you like, subscribe, do everything on that agenda. I'll plug the bit.ly. I didn't pull it up last time. Come on, focus on me. bit.ly/no sub bets. If you can read my chicken scratch, one risk-free bet up to $500 when you deposit $25 or more. You must be 21 and older. You must be in Illinois for this offer. And if you have a gambling problem, go Internet Gambler. Alrighty. Let me make sure that's not a fire spot. Let's wrap it up. Tease you earlier with a Jet story. Yes, they added Tim Boyle. That is for sure, and I wasn't just trying to poke some fun at Mike. Yes, still nothing on the Aaron Rodgers thing. And I said last time I'm not going to bring it up, but I still keep it's insane that this is still going on. Let's see. Tyreek Hill. Yeah, okay, yeah. Well, and we also touched upon Odell signing for a year. I'm sorry, guys. We were all over the place. Not my usual thing. We'll make it better next time. I'll be a little bit more organized. Odell signing for a year, 18 million with the Ravens. I was kind of just tossing it up to Mike earlier. Does that mean Lamar Jackson gonna stay? Again, I guess we'll have to tune in, see what's up. Still a little silent on both ends when it comes to that. But yeah, that would be enticing, bringing in a guy like that. Whether we'll make sure he's fully healthy and fully ready to go. But he puts his money where his mouth is for sure. He can still. We'll see game one for sure, or preseason or whatnot, if he still got the explosiveness or if he needs something like that. But time will tell. Of course, with reconstruction surgeries with the ACL, they've come better and better throughout the year. So I'm sure it might not be a whole health issue or whatever. But yeah, just let him get out there, let him give some full reps and some actual reps with his guy, with Lamar Jackson, if that's going to be the go-to. So we'll see on that one. Seems pretty good. A year and 18 million, maybe overpaying, but for the Ravens, that's okay. That's okay. They, like we kind of mentioned earlier, that he's gonna walk in and be the number one wide receiver behind, Mark Andrews is still gonna be number one, and maybe in terms of target shares, but yeah, this is the most talented wide receiver Lamar Jackson will have had up until this point. Let's see. Tyreek Hill said he's gonna retire after this Dolphins contract is up. You know what? Again, you can't. That's his decision, man. That's all for it. If you're gonna bash on it for any which way, he's probably made enough money. Let them go, especially with a sport like football. You let them go out on their own terms. You don't want these guys sucking soup through a straw or not being able to spell their own name or something like that, walking away with CT. So let him finish his contract, whether it be in 2 or 3 years. Like, I don't know off the top of my head. I'm just going to cherish the time we have left as a fantasy option. I'm not going to call it cap. Just leave it as is. That's fine. It's not like him saying he's going to retire in X amount of years is going to affect anything he does today. I mean, he's going to go out there and ball and still do everything. So he wants to win. He still has a legacy to put up, especially if he does want to go past this contract now that he just put a time limit on himself. So see how that goes. I think, like I said, nothing too harmful, too shameful, nothing too crazy of a take on that. Just ball out, man. Just show that you're exactly that. Just don't put your feet up and just take the paycheck. I'm a guy like Tyreek Hill is still gonna work and still gonna be the guy. So still pretty good. Good luck in your future endeavors, Tyreek Hill. Finally, let's see. We'll wrap up with this one. Jeff Okudah. This was this is actually the freshest thing on the day. Jeff Okudah being traded, former 3rd overall pick, I believe in the 2020 draft, if I'm not mistaken, 2019. I mean, he's still working on his rookie contract. Traded to Atlanta. Atlanta's been making some good defensive move, acquiring Jesse Bates as well earlier this year. for a 5th round pick of all things. Again, maybe probably just 1 year left on his rookie contract, coming off an injury, if I'm not mistaken, but still 3rd overall pick for a 5th round. The Lions can kind of wipe their hands clean. Maybe that indicates what they're going to be focusing on in the draft for them as well. So yeah, I mean, I don't have the stats off the top of my head. Good name, solid defender, can lock you down. So that's pretty good. So we'll just key in on Atlanta. Like I said, I was very surprised that they were a squad that just like, yeah, we don't need Lamar. Why would we do that when you had Marcus Mariota, who was, I'm not gonna say the same thing, but same tangibles, fast. He's he's got an arm somewhat. Lamar Jackson being better, but yeah, you kind of just set up this offense around both of them essentially, in the same aspect. So yeah, that was kind of bonkos. They focused in on the defense. I'm sure they're gonna hit in their spots as well in the draft for some more defense. But their offense has some good pieces. Kyle Pitts, Drake London, Tyler Algier if he's going to get the rock. Also Cordell Patterson if he's still a viable option catching and running the ball. So don't want to take away. They almost, as shitty as that division was, they could have they had an opportunity to win at one point. So that just goes to show you again, NFL's a little crazy too at times. It's not so chalk as the NBA, I guess. So you have to jump around and see how that goes. I think that just about wraps it up over here. Honestly, getting out a little, you getting a lot a little easier, a little quicker today, guys and gals, like you usually do. So I have to sit here and bore you to death for the usual 2.5 hours. I know, obviously, we appreciate the people that join in and tune in for that long, but I can't keep asking Nick to tune in for that long every single time. So thank you for those that do. And again, maybe this will be a nice little sampler, nice little easier one for the more palatable for the viewers on this episode. A little easier. Like I said, I'm kind of just stretching it out to make it a little longer for no particular reason, other than to say, that's basically it. That's episode 14 in the books. If I didn't already say in the beginning, closing up shop today. Like I said, a little early. Thank you for everyone. Thanks for Mike for joining me for the time that he had. Like you said, he went ahead and go see that. He's gonna enjoy Super Mario Brothers again. You should too. Phenomenal movie. F the haters. Fuck the haters on that. If they wanna go ahead and just exactly that. Just bash on a kid's movie, dude. Whatever. Take your time, take your notes, Alan. Thank you, Troy. You're still tuning in. I know it's a tough time in the Kentucky land area between the sports, and there was also some unfortunate news that happened. So do that. Like I always say, take the time, subscribe, like it, share it around if you enjoy. Appreciate that. Love seeing the numbers, love seeing the interaction. So anytime that's fun, always appreciate it. You guys know who you are that love sharing it around. I very much appreciate that. Take care of yourselves and each other. We'll see you again next time for a full we'll just it'll be Mike and I again for the full time. That next time we'll see you. Take care. We'll see you.